Hey everyone. Um, Today I wanted to take a little bit of time, or maybe a lot of time depending on how this video goes, just to do the 7 witchy question tag that I've seen so many people do on YouTube these past couple days, and I find the questions really interesting. They're a little bit different than what I've seen on the other witchy question tags, and I like to take my point of view and share it with you guys. Um, so if you guys don't know, this 7 witchy question tag was created by um, Ember Honey Raven, aka the Big Fat Witch, which it's awesome. I love that name. Um, you go, girl. Awesome. But I think she just created something a little bit different just to kind of get us to think or just to open up a little bit. I think that's kind of cool. Well, without further ado, we'll go ahead. The first question she has here. Sorry, my window's like right there, and something flew past it. But okay, the first question is, what is your biggest spell disaster story? Ugh. Um, the one that I remember that went bad was I was in high school. Me and a friend. I was studying. She was interested in it, but she had this crush on this guy, and he showed interest in her, but he didn't want to move forward. So she created a love spell. I let her do all the creation and stuff, but I helped her with it and helped her cast it and all that jazz. So I do feel kind of obligated with what happened. Um, but the guy turned super stalkerish. Like he would text her in the middle of the night, saying, creepy things like "you look pretty when you sleep" because he was outside, standing outside of her window. Um, Also, he got just really weird at school. Like he got even annoyed that I was hanging out with her, and me and her were best friends. Um, Even got so much where he was confrontational, which was really weird. Like I'm not a confrontational person, but he got confrontational to me. Um, so yeah, I helped to reverse it, and that edge that he had kind of turned off, but he was still creepy. I think he is still creepy, but that was like 6 years ago. Um, Another one. I totally had one more lined up, but I can't. I can't think of another one. So we'll just go on to question 2, which is number 2: something you wish someone had told you when you were a new witch. Um, I think it would have been nice to know from the beginning that it's all right to create your own path. You don't have to be a Dianic Wiccan or a Gardarian Wiccan, or um, you don't have to be initiated. You can do what feels right to you and create, the beautiful magic that you can create. Um, with that being said, I think it's always good to study other paths, but don't. I just wish someone would have told me that, I didn't have to focus on one set path. That I could have spread out to many things. Which later on I found that being eclectic is amazing. I love it. So also, one thing that I wish someone would have told me is everyone has an opinion about what witchcraft, what magic, what authors they like, what tarot decks they like. Um, you can take that opinion with a grain of salt. Don't take it to heart. I'm a person who believes a lot of what people say. Sometimes it's part of my flaws, I guess. I'm too trusting. Um, but just take what wish someone told me would take what everyone else's opinions and take them with a grain of salt and find out for yourself what books you like, what authors you like, what tarot decks, what magics you can and can't work. Um, for me personally, I'm not going to hold myself back and say that there's a taboo. Because firstly, when I first started, there was a lot of things that were taboo and hush hush, and I kind of don't see that now. And I really do apologize if I'm going off topic a little bit. I kind of just woke up from a nap and it's like, hey, let's make a video. So, ta-da! Well, number 3, what is your biggest witchy pet peeve? I'd have to say my biggest witchy pet peeve is those in the pagan community think that they know all and they can't learn anything else. Um, it just aggravates me to no end where when someone thinks they know everything about a subject just from picking up one or two books, um, and then when you try to prove them wrong because you've studied it for a little bit longer and you have more personal experience, that they get all huffy and puffy and get upset at you, and you're just showing them your personal. I'm completely white. You're showing them, or you're explaining to them what you know, and they just huff and puff and don't really take it. And I'm sorry for the whiteout. I don't know why my. Oh, I do now. The sun's out. Um, but so that's one of my pet peeves. Um, Another one of my pet peeves. I don't think it's really a pet peeve to an annoying standard, but I kind of work in a smoke shop slash new age shop, so I get a lot of interesting people to come in the shop. I've had one person who came in and said that they can't mess with candles or mess with crystals because they said last time they messed with the candle exploded in their hand, or last time they messed with the amethyst, it drained a color in their hand. Um, and I thought it was kind of interesting. It's like, I want to see that. I'll pay for it. I really want to see you do that. That's kind of a pet peeve. People coming in and saying that they can do all these amazing things. Um, but when you ask for validation or, you want to see it yourself, um, they just, they can't show you, I think it's one of the one-time things. Um, and I think that's a lot of their, like, ego coming into play. So I'm not a big fan of egotistical people either. That's a pet peeve in general. Um, but okay, we'll go to number 4. Is when did you first know that there was something different about your spirituality? When did you first know that you were a witch? Like a lot of people and a lot of YouTubers have said that I knew from very young that something was different about me. Um, I grew up in a Lutheran household, and I love my parents and I respect the beliefs. Coming this time, I do respect what they believe in. But for me, I found that it really wasn't something that, excuse me, that I could believe in. It's just something didn't seem right when I was at church. I mean, it was peaceful, it was relaxing, almost a lot to where I was little, I'd fall asleep. But beside the point. Um, I was always in a fantasy world, kind of. I would be outside creating these fantasy landscapes and scenarios, then playing them out as a little kid, having imaginary friends. Also, in going up to middle school and high school, I'd write different fantasy stories, some containing my friends and my experiences, and it kind of like the hero, good versus evil kind of thing. Um, but I think when it really hit me was when I was 17 and put in the hospital for a stomach condition that I have. It really hit me that I need to find some way to bring balance and harmony in my life, and I found that through studying Wicca and paganism. That's when I started studying. I didn't consider calling myself a witch till I was probably 19 or 20, because I like to have that knowledge before I would call myself something. I can't say I'm a witch and I've only started reading one or two books on Wicca. So I think then around 17, when I was out of the hospital, is when I really started studying Wicca and paganism, and I knew I knew it was for me then when I started studying. Um, all right, the next question is, what is the best witchy book you have ever read? And for those that know me, know that I have a ton of books, so this is kind of difficult. But one of my favorite books on witchcraft or folk magic is American Folk Magic by Silver Ravenwolf. I actually like Silver Ravenwolf as an author. I like her writing style and stuff like that, but I just love um, the powwow, the practice of powwow. I find that super interesting. I think it's almost connected to hoodoo, a little bit connected to hoodoo, but I think hoodoo is more of a, um, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think is more of a southern aspect of the craft, and well, I guess Pennsylvania is, I guess that's a southern state, but powwow is more Pennsylvania Dutch. Um, kind of elements mixed in there. Pennsylvania Dutch mixed with Native American, where this one hoodoo is kind of folk magic mixed with Christian saints, which hoodoo you I'm getting ahead of myself, but one of my favorite books is American Folk Magic by Silver Rain Wolf. The next one, it's hard. Hmm. I think the Temple of Witchcraft series is really good. I I refer back to those four books that I have a lot. The Inner Temple, the Outer Temple, the Shamanic Temple, and then the Temple of High Witchcraft. I refer back to those books a lot in my practice too. So I think those two books, or those two sets of books, are one of my favorites. So, what is the best number 6? What is the best witchy movie or TV show? Well, I'm a huge fan of Charmed. I actually have all 8 seasons. When I get bored, I watch them all over again. Buffy's okay. Um, I loved American Horror Story: The Craft. I didn't really get into Salem that much. It's just it was too gory for me. I mean, The Craft was gory, but I could take it. But just Salem was a lot. I just couldn't handle it. Um, I was trying to get into the old series Hex, um, but I just couldn't get into it. I mean, the concept was really cool. I just couldn't get into it. But those are my favorite witchy TV shows. My favorite witchy movie, I do love The Craft, Practical Magic. Um, even going to Disney with, my mind went blank. Darn it. Um, Hocus Pocus, the Halloween Town series. Um, there's another movie too. Fuck. What's it called? I haven't seen The Wicker Man. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet. The Merlin series, the two Merlin DVDs. Those are two good movies that I like that are about magic. And the last question, number 7. Have you ever doubted your craft? And if so, what did you do about it? Yes, yes, I have doubted my craft. I've thought that since certain things have happened in my life that maybe this wasn't for me. This wasn't the path for me. Um, and how I've kind of gotten myself out of it. Um, was connecting with nature again, is going outside and just connecting with nature, working on my little garden that I have up, and continue studying. Um, I'm always have 1 or 2 or maybe 5 books at a time that I'm reading and studying different things on. Um, I think furthering my knowledge is something that if I find something interesting, it's like, oh, let me try that. Oh, let me try this, and it kind of gets me back into practicing again. And once I start this, I feel more comfortable in myself and my craft as a whole. Then I get back into the routines of. I can't really say meditation because I don't do that often, but practicing my Reiki, tarot. Working with crystals and different divination styles and things like that. So yeah, that's how I get out of my doubting phases of me going through the craft. So I think that, yep, that is it for the 7 questions. If you liked my video, please be awesome if you subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. And if you have any opinions or any questions about anything, or you just want to say that was an awesome video, please put it in the comments below. It'd be greatly appreciated. I will link Ember Honey Raven's original video in my description box, as well as I will put the 7 questions. I'll put the 7 questions up there as well if I'm making any sense. So I hope you guys have an awesome day and a great rest of your week, and blessed be.